We'll get right into it. I know there was a story that came out yesterday, and I'm sure you want to tell your side of it, of a promoter that he's kind of been discredited quite a bit online, but made some accusations towards you. Do you have any, like, a statement or anything that you'd like to make about that?
Yeah, he contacted me to do a booking in Toronto, I think it was, and it was like a tour, and it was well beyond like I think he wanted me to do like 5 matches, like it was like a tour or something, and the pay wasn't very good, and basically it was a favor for, I'll leave the other wrestler nameless. He was like, hey, I did a tour with this guy. He was wondering if he could book you or whatever. And I was like, are you going to be on the tour? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, why not? If I'm wrestling you, why not? It'll be fun. No big deal. Got a TNA thing and let it know. He sent me a deposit for $250, which is next to nothing.
Yeah.
And, I let him know within, I think it was like 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, plenty of time. And like I said, wasn't a very big venue. It wasn't like I was making $5,000 a show or something like that. It was a small venue. He was like, you make all your money off selling merch and stuff and all those kind of things. And once I told him that I was done, I'd be happy to do another date. And this has happened before where, because I work for a TV company, I'll get booked on something else and I'll be happy to make it up and I'll just do it again and we'll just change the date or whatever. At first he said that was fine. Then he said, I don't know, I'm going to run again or whatever. And I got busy. I think I went to Japan or something like that. Yeah, I was going to Japan. And I'm not going to pass up going to Japan, to wrestle a small venue in Toronto. Not that I don't love the Canadian fans and all that, but it's just, there's a big difference between wrestling in front of 20,000 people opposed to wrestling in front of 2,000, and Japan is a great opportunity. So, that was the reason
new
why
headline. New headline is that Tyrus hates Canadians. That will be our new headline.
Yeah, and no, I love Bret. Bret Hart's actually one of my biggest supporters, so he'd probably have issue with that. And long story short, he sent me an email. And I literally get 100 emails a day sometimes, just from like all kinds of stuff, and didn't even see it. It was like over the $250 deposit, and I told my manager about it, and he was like, "Oh man, yeah." We'll send it out to him right away. And then he was like, wait a minute, did you notice that this guy was advertising for you all the way up until the show? See, what they'll do is these promoters they'll tell them you're not working the show, and then they'll keep advertising you. And then the night of the show, they make it look like you didn't show up. And then the fans are mad at you, not them, and they get the ticket sales from you because the fans thinking you were going to be there. So it's kind of like a clever little shady thing they do, and then they boo-hoo over a deposit, or someone does. Yeah, sorry. But I really didn't think it was a big deal. And then once I saw the email, we sent him his $250 and just said that, just don't contact us again. He accepted the money, and then I think then the next day or the day two after that, then there was that story that my manager told me about, and I was like, he got paid back. So I don't understand. And here's the thing, if you make a deposit, furniture company or whatever, and it doesn't work out and they send you your stuff back, typically for a refund, sometimes you have to wait like 30 days or whatever. So it's not like it was 2 years late or anything like that. It's just that I'm an extremely busy person. I'm out of the country. And I wasn't thinking about a $250 deposit. And like I said, I get it. That is still a little bit of money, but it wasn't like ill intent on my part. I wasn't being a jerk or anything like that. And, you try to get his 15 seconds of fame after he got the money, which to me seems really childish. And I really sweating it. Honestly, didn't give it much thought other than today.
Has he made any more contact with you or your manager that you know of?
No, I mean, we paid him. There's no reason to. So, I get, like, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to sit on blogs and talk trash about somebody, then if it was that big of an issue, then you shouldn't have accepted the money. You should have said, no, it's not the point. It's the principality. I wanted it back within 2 weeks, and you send it back in 30 days or whatever. But that's not what he did. He took the money, and there was people that sent me emails when I took the booking about this guy. So, and I try not to, like, deal with stuff like that, and not try to judge anybody until I've actually worked with them. But, you know, that the guys that were on the card and stuff like that, there was a lot of inexperience and to be careful. It was like some wrestler that used to work for him. So it looks like he's got like drama is a regular thing for him. So I really don't know. I don't know the man. I think I spoke to him twice via email. And I was kind of surprised over but once my manager was like, "Oh yeah," so we sent it to him right away. So,
well,
and he doesn't even do the decent thing and say he was paid. You know, that's the funny part. He's trying to act like he didn't get paid. That's the part that makes him look like an idiot. So,
well, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you opening up about that because I know that was obviously the type of thing you don't want out there about yourself, especially as an independent contractor.
Well, especially if it's not true. I mean, if it was, I'd get it if I didn't pay the guy back. But like I said, when a lot of some of these promotions that, and not like there's great promotions out there, Wrestling Syndicate, and there's so many. Like I would say, out of every 20 indie promotions, there's like one that's a little off or shady. You know, they make bookings and then they you let them know you can't do it, and they say, okay, can we just do another date? And then when they can't run the date or whatever, but you've already made an agreement, and they continue to advertise for you, the deposit, that's yours because they're advertising your name to make money. So people need to understand that. Like, and when they're told, and we had another issue with a company who was doing the same thing, once they took my name down from the thing, then they got the deposit back. That's how it works. So I'm not in the business of ruining towns, and my reputation has been, it's really kind of like laughable. I mean, it's silly. If I didn't pay him back, then he has a right to write that letter. And hell, if he didn't pay me for wrestling there, I would have wrote that letter.
Yeah. We'll switch gears a little bit. You've been getting a bit of attention for these YouTube shorts you did. I saw the most recent one. I thought it was hilarious. The John Cena fan.
You.
I thought that was great. What motivated you to start doing those?
Because it's a real thing. That happens to me everywhere I go. There's always like a Cena fan who wants to talk to me about it, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Like, he'll come up to me and the Cena stuff, and he'll say, "Why'd you never wrestle Cena? Why didn't you wrestle Cena?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't know. You know, isn't he the best?" I'm like, "Must be." So did you want something, or you just want to talk to me about John Cena for a little bit? You know, and that it became a constant thing, and it became like almost like I would make jokes and stuff when we trained at Hard Knock South about my big feud with Cena that he didn't know about. And we got to the point where we were talking about it like I was going to make a sitcom out of like my feud with John Cena that he never knows about.
You do actually train at one of his gyms, right?
Yeah, I train at his gym, Hard Knock South in Florida, yeah.
Which that was actually mentioned in that short, which I thought was,
oh yeah,
like I said, that was a really funny short. That one in particular, I've liked them all, but the one that I think it was your manager sent me yesterday, I was dying at that. About how it's a grown man in John Cena gear all the time too. Yeah. That was really good stuff. So do you know if he has seen these shorts?
I haven't been in Hard Knock South. I think I was there once in the last couple of weeks. So I've been traveling a lot. I've been out in Louisiana, and I've been doing bookings and stuff. So I haven't really been there, or whatever. But I haven't seen him. We usually see each other maybe like once every 2 weeks, like on a Wednesday. Like if we're both lifting late, we'll see each other or whatever. But he knows. I made mention to him that I was going to do something like that, and he just laughed. Like I said, he's pretty laid back about stuff like that. But and again, it's not in any way like discrediting him. It's not like we hate John Cena or somebody trying to get attention by taking shots at Cena. This is me taking shots at what a lot of wrestlers go through when dealing with diehard fans. Is, you know, back in the 80s, it was Hulk Hogan, you know, and during our time is John Cena, and the fans are so stuck on Cena that they punish you a little bit for not being Cena.
So, I mean, there were some, I remember it got quite a bit of attention on Twitter a comment earlier about your comparisons to John Cena and PN News. Was that more of a playful thing, or was that something that you
I was just
legitimately felt?
I was throwing a shot.
Yeah,
I did that because he compared me to the XFL.
Ooh.
Remember, Rob,
Ouch.
that's what started all this. I was just sitting there, and I was like, wait a minute, why me? What'd I do?
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, I'll take all right, cool. I'm on 2 wrestling promotions, getting my name mentioned. Sweet. And I'm like, I can't just let him ride on that, can I? And my boys are like, nah, hell no, get him. Like, this is what you're good at anyways. Go get him. So then I just said, what's the difference between him and PM News? And I said, a push. And everybody laughed, But again, he's like I said, he's the pinnacle of the business. So I'm sure people yelling from the middle of the mountain at him, he's probably not hearing it. But just having fun with it. It was a good concept, and it was the first time I put a series together, and I'm going to continue to do stuff like that because it's fun and I enjoy it. Shows another side of me, so I will continue to put stuff out there. Probably won't always be about my crazy. And he's legitimately a diehard Cena fan, so it's so easy to do that improv with him because he just gets going.
It looked like a natural role for that guy. He looked like he was into it and ready.
He was really upset when he misspoke about Cena beating The Rock at that Mania, and I just let him have it, and he was upset. So the outtakes from that, because he goes on this rant, and he's just like, he calls me a clown and stuff. Like, he just goes, he forgets that he's only as big as my leg for a minute because he was so passionate about Cena.
I spoke to EC3 a few weeks ago, and he told me that fans had not seen you even scratch the surface yet. And then just a couple of weeks after that, you won the big match at Bound for Glory. What does it mean for you, for TNA, to have that type of confidence in you as a performer and put you in a number 1 contender spot?
I've been waiting and chomping at the bit for my time. WWE, I got close with a different kind of character and never really got to the ceiling that I had set for myself. And then with TNA, it was the same thing about, what it comes down to in this business is being able to do business, being to do what's asked for you and do it as well as you possibly can, to the point where they're like, we asked him to do that. And then they're thinking, maybe we shouldn't ask him to do that because he's got more than, like, he did that amazing or he did this great. And so it's just like in anything. You live and learn from mistakes. I remember I used to get frustrated a lot when things weren't going my way, and I get real quiet. I wouldn't talk to people, and, I had this kind of this frustrated look on my face, and not everyone's going to want to work with you when you're frustrated all the time. I learned from that, those mistakes, my time in the WWE, and, with TNA, with a fresh start and a new character and getting back to the things that I do well, it was a chance for me to reinvent myself and kind of start from the bottom. And I did that, and then it got to a point where, without saying anything, and that was my plan, because I can talk all day, but I wanted to get over just the physical presence and the intimidation and stuff again and the wrestling work. And then, you can give him some character stuff, but you want to have both. You don't want to just be, hey, he can talk and he's entertaining, but when he wrestles, like, that's when I go get something to eat. So you want to be able to bring on both ends of the spectrum. And that's one thing I felt like I didn't really always get a chance to showcase everything I could really do in the WWE, and just because of the time constraints of matches and stuff like that, or trying to protect other things or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I've always done whatever I've been asked to do. So in TNA, there's more freedom to express yourself and take more chances, and I think I've done that with them. And but there's been also a lot of great, St. Helms, you guys know him as the Hurricane, man. He has been just so instrumental in terms of, like, just being a great coach and being in my ear about stuff, and every match, and guys like Bobby Lashley, who has absolutely no ego in the ring, and EC3, and just the creative guys around us, Bobby Roode, and Kurt Angle has been just unreal, man. Like, it's something to be said. You come through, like, when I went Bound for Glory, right? I come through the curtain, and the first person waiting for me is Kurt Angle. And he had some criticisms. He had some things he didn't want to see me do again. He had some things, but that means so much to a guy who doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to sit in front of the monitor and watch every match. But that's who Kurt Angle is. And when he's willing to extend the wing and he believes that that you're special and you can take things to the next level, you'd be an idiot not to jump all over that. And I was one of the few guys that were really happy that he didn't go back to the WWE, because at TNA he has just been a cornerstone of like being in the ring with him and stuff was just, and we didn't do much. We didn't have to, but every time it was like, man, I don't want to see this and I don't want to see this. And you're this and I can't wait to do this. He's just been just unreal as far as like support and confidence. And when, quite arguably one of the greatest of his era, has got your back and is supporting you and has no ego, it's just, you just can't, you just thrive. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who's that believes in you, who doesn't have to. He can just go hang out in his trailer, come out, do his match, go back to his trailer. We've seen that. But it's,
what are your thoughts on him? What are your thoughts on him taking time off? Because he says he's not going to re-sign. He needs time to himself. He told us that he's just going to reevaluate things and he needs the rest. Do you think we'll see him back in TNA eventually?
I sure hope so. But I also know, just had neck surgery. There was some stuff in the press. He's dealing with some stuff. And he certainly, if anybody needs to rest, it's him. He's been going hard forever. And so yeah, I hope. The only thing is when he comes back healed up, it's like look out. So he's always bounced back. He's always come back bigger and better. So I hope he's back. It's great for TNA when Kurt Angle's a part of it.
You had mentioned the major change in characters you went through between WWE and TNA. There was a lot of confusion surrounding your WWE debut because they ran those vignettes and they stopped and started and it was a next week thing. Was the plan all along for the Funkasaurus character, or was that something that was dropped on you just prior to the debut?
It literally happened maybe a week before the debut, was supposed to happen.
Wow.
And yeah, the vignettes were already running. So
the plan was for you to be this dominant monster character that you had portrayed before.
Yeah.
So what were your feelings when they presented that to you? Were you happy, unhappy?
At first I didn't comprehend. I got very defensive, as I think most people would. I thought I was being tricked because I had spent so much time working on this character and training and working a certain way as this type of heel, and then to find out I was going to be something completely opposite of that, I was scared to death because I didn't even know what the first step was. And I think I had been a babyface maybe for like a half an hour in developmental, So it was really like, I don't look like a babyface. Like, look at me, I have tattoos. I have a crest on the top of my head. I was with Alberto beating up Edge and Christian for a year. Like, what am I going to do? Like they're going to laugh me out of the building, like out of wrestling. And I really was terrified. But, after I spent some time with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and, Triple H was real supportive and helped me through the step. And even, the boss, once he decided that was his vision, and when he has his vision and explains what his vision is, things are a lot easier and step by step. Michael Hayes, it was a lot of support. I think everybody they knew I was getting thrown a curveball. I was getting put in a tough spot, and basically, could I pull it off or not? And I was able to do so. But I had a lot of good support, and though I wasn't really comfortable with the decision at first, but then once it got off and running and stuff, and I saw how much the kids liked it, then I just took it from there.
So who is the guy that WWE sends to approach a 6'7", 375-pound guy to break the news? Who tells you about something like this?
Triple H, the boss.
So he's probably had to do that a fair number of times now. Something you also went through was NXT Season 4, and EC3 was actually opening up to me about that experience, and he brought up about how he rigged one of the segments, and he didn't quite understand it because he got in trouble for it, but the whole basis of the show was them screwing with people like you all that were trying to make a career out of that. What was that experience like? Did you like that or not?
Well, first of all, what EC3 and his pro did,
Daniel Bryan, yeah.
was probably the most hilarious thing I've ever been blindsided by.
Yeah.
Because if anyone should have been upset, it was me, because me and Ted were winning. And then when I saw that, when it was like, what do girls do in northern USA, and like, it didn't even answer the question, and Daniel held it up, I went, it's on. I just looked at him and said, it's on. And then we went from there. We started rigging everything. Arm wrestling competitions, pinata stuff. Like, we all just started cheating. And they didn't know what we were doing, and we all worked together. We took turns on who was going to win and stuff. You know, we basically became our own booking crew. Because it was a lost season, basically. They kind of looked at us like, you know, the season before had just gone off TV. We were just on the internet. And so, I think it was kind of the project. It was the last thing to do on Tuesday, you know, as far as like, they had SmackDown, they had Raw stuff, they had all the top guys and stuff, and then NXT. And at the time, NXT was kind of like, is this working? Is it not working? You know. So, you know, we were basically kind of in a situation like, we were like, well, we can complain about it, or we can just try to make it cool. And we did a good job of that.
Yeah, you worked a little bit with EC3 back then, and you're in sort of a similar role as you were with Alberto Del Rio, although you're able to show a lot more range now. How would you compare yourself in those roles and just the Del Rio versus EC3 characters in general?
I think with Del Rio, was more of a student.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just my first time up, and the fact that he had the confidence to put me in that spot against two of arguably the best technical wrestlers of their era, Edge and Christian. So, I mean, that in itself was a lot of pressure, and just being up for the first time and not wanting to make a mistake and being terrified of making a mistake. And so that was that, you know, as far as he goes. And with EC3, it was more of a partnership, because we both kind of came up together, if that makes any more sense. And because I had experienced a little more as far as like success, if you want to say that, in the WWE or whatever, I would use that experience in our situation, you know. Like, hey, try this, do this, you know, you're going to be the champ, so maybe do this, do that, you know, things I saw, things I experienced, being in the situation I was in, I think it's helped us. So we have a partnership.
One of my favorite things I've seen in wrestling this year is you and EC3 forcing Rockstar Spud to peel potatoes backstage. That was a really good, funny segment, and the subtle things that, well, not so subtle, that EC3 was dropping about calling his mama and stuff like that. I thought that was a really entertaining thing. It's really cool to see you play the straight-laced big dude and him joke around and hide behind you. I think it's a really good dynamic. It's something that...
Yeah, it does. It works, and, you know, both guys can't be cool. That's the problem today. Everyone has to be cool. Like, I am not cool. I don't like anybody. I really don't like EC3 if you look at the character, but it's the job I'm doing. So I just don't really, you know, because like when he showed me pictures of his cats, and I'm just rolling my eyes at my, you know, sometimes when he talks, I kind of look off to the side like, what the hell is this dude saying? Because that's what a bodyguard does. Like when I was with Snoop, some of the things he'd say, I'd be like, whatever. You know, but like he'll look at me and be, oh yeah, good job, boss. Yeah, you got him. You showed him. You know. Did
you ever have any interactions with like a young Sasha Banks when you were bodyguarding for Snoop?
No, never met her. I met her. I didn't meet her till we actually met the first time was at the Boston tryout that she got and did really well at.
Cool. Now, TNA is doing a lot of international stuff. Obviously, they have the UK taping set for January, the India stuff planned. Is that something you enjoy doing, is the international stuff, and do you think TNA should do more of that, considering the business they do overseas?
I think the international market is our frontier right now. I think the more success we have internationally will continue to help us replant the United States as well. You know, I think Bound for Glory was a great launching pad. You know, we had a jam-packed house in Charlotte, and it was great wrestling fans, and you know, you couldn't hear, they were just on their feet all night, and really excited, and everybody went out there and gave 110% or whatever. So it really was a good dynamic. And
you've all.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
You've also been involved with movies and voice acting and things like that. Is that something that you're looking to do more of? Like I said, you've been incredible in these YouTube shorts.
Yeah, I've been doing those, and I've been doing a lot of radio shows and stuff, talking about other things besides wrestling. And the Great Gut Fill show has been a really great launching pad for me. And I actually just I got 2 movies that I just signed deals with. So I got those coming up, later this year. I'll be filming those, and those are things also that are gonna one is gonna be straight up just me being like an evil Tyrus, and the other one's just gonna show some crazy range. So I'm excited about the opportunity and wrestling and still being able to wrestle and be for a company that continues to thrive. It's a good time,
See, you are going to catch up with John Cena in these movie roles.
Yeah, that's like you don't want to set the bar, like trying to make Tyrus / Brodus Clay and some people George Murdoch trying to make his mark, and whatever that is, that's the plan. I really don't worry about. It's like you can't have unrealistic goals, like see you at the Academy Awards, Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't think like that, but you got to find your thing.
What other projects do you have going on?
Like I said, Swole Shop, we're doing, SwoleShop.com, we're doing, the shorts, and, Fox News. I'm a contributor on Fox News now. TNA stuff's going on. Working on a crazy, sci-fi movie. It's basically me, versus aliens. It's going to be weird. But it's more of a comedy, so that will be fun. And there's this MMA type movie that we're working on that I'm really excited about.
How did the thing with Fox come about?
Twitter.
That's incredible. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, great. Great Gutfield is an amazing, awesome guy, man.
So before we go, can you tell the fans where they can follow you on social media, YouTube, things like that?
Yeah, they can SwoleShop.com. That's my social media management. They handle all my social media, so you can reach me at Tyrus Smash or at Tyrus Smash on Instagram. Twitter is still at Brodus Clay, and the website is Tyrus at TyrusSmash.com. So those are the vehicles that you can remember, fans. Like while I look and I read everything as much as I possibly can, just remember when you're sending me messages and stuff like that they're going through other people's eyes. So some of the guys and gals like to say some crazy stuff. Just remember you're writing stuff to a third party. So keep your game tight.
Well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me and for setting the record straight about that story that emerged. Thank you very much, and I hope I can talk to you again sometime.